Introduction. The Treasure House. There is an infinite treasure within your reach. It is not buried on a distant island. It is not kept in a bank vault in Switzerland, and certainly it is not reserved for an elite of lucky ones. This treasure is right where you are now. It is beating in your chest. It is breathing in your lungs. It is waiting behind your eyes. The great secret of the ages, the secret that the sages, prophets, and mystics of all eras have tried to whisper to you, is this: the treasure house is within you. Look around you. You will see that humanity is divided into two types of people. On one hand, there is the magnetized man. This man is full of confidence and faith. He knows he was born to win and succeed. He touches iron, and it turns into gold. Problems move out of his way. Wealth flows toward him like a river toward the sea. On the other hand, there is the demagnetized man. He is full of fears and doubts. If you give him an opportunity, he sees an obstacle. If you give him money, he is afraid of losing it. He works hard, sweats, strives, and yet he lives in scarcity and anxiety. What is the difference between these two men? It is not their talent, it is not their family, it is not their luck. The difference is that one has awakened the inner master, and the other walks asleep over a diamond mine. Welcome to the definitive revelation. What you are about to hear is not just another self-help book. It is not a collection of tips to think positive. This is an operations manual. You possess the most powerful instrument in the universe, your subconscious mind. But no one gave you the instruction manual at birth. You have been operating this divine machine at random, pressing buttons without knowing what they do. You have planted seeds of fear, and you have harvested panic. You have planted seeds of poverty, and you have harvested debts. And then you have wondered, why is life so hard on me? Life is not hard. Life is an exact mirror. Your subconscious mind is a fertile soil that accepts any seed you deposit in it, whether good or bad. It does not argue. It does not judge. It has no sense of humor. If you tell it, I am a failure, it will move heaven and earth to make sure that you fail. If you tell it, I am immensely rich, it will orchestrate the strangest coincidences to put money in your pocket. This power is called infinite intelligence. It is the same force that moves the galaxies, that makes the flowers grow, and that repairs your skin when you cut yourself. That force is not up there. It is in here, and it is waiting for your orders. In this audiobook, we are going to demystify the miracle. We are going to remove the religious veil, and we are going to see it for what it is, a cosmic and scientific law. I will teach you to use scientific prayer, not the prayer of the beggar who asks please, but the decree of the king who knows that his word is law. You will learn to imprint health on your sick body. You will learn to imprint wealth on your empty account. You will learn to imprint love on your loneliness. Not through willpower. Willpower is weak and gets tired, but through imagination and faith. Stop fighting with the outside world. The outside world is only the effect. If you want to change your face in the mirror, you cannot shave the mirror. You have to shave your face. If you want to change your life, you have to change the internal cause. Get ready. You are about to meet your invisible servant. You are about to discover that you have never been alone. You are about to enter the treasure house. Open your mind. Empty it of prejudices. Because what you are going to hear today is your divine right. Chapter 1. The Captain and the Crew, the Hidden Dynamic. To possess the treasure, you must first understand the map. And to operate the most complex machine in the universe, you must first know its controls. The greatest mistake humanity makes, the root cause of all suffering, poverty, and confusion, is ignorance of its own nature. Most people believe they have one mind. They believe they are a single entity that thinks, decides, feels, and acts. But this is not accurate. You do not have one mind. You have two distinct functions within a single mind. They are two spheres of activity as different as day and night, as different as the sun and the moon or man and woman. Throughout history, they have been given many names: the objective and the subjective mind, the conscious and the deep mind, the voluntary and the involuntary mind, the male and the female. It doesn't matter what we call them. What matters is that you understand the power relationship between them, because one of them has the power to choose the destination, and the other has the power to make it a reality. One is the architect, the other is the builder. One is the seed, the other is the earth. To understand this master secret once and for all, and so that it is never erased from your memory, we are going to use the most perfect metaphor ever conceived to explain the human psyche. Imagine that you are the owner of a gigantic ocean liner. You are the captain. You are standing on the bridge at the highest part of the ship. You have a panoramic view of the ocean. You have maps, compasses, radars, and binoculars. You see where you are going. You decide the destination. If you want to go to New York, you give the order. If you want to go to London, you give the order. Your job is to observe, reason, and decide. This is your conscious mind. It is your rational, logical, analytical mind. It is the part of you that says, I want to be rich, I want to get married. Today I'm going to eat salad. But as powerful as the captain may seem, he does not move the ship. The captain does not have the physical strength to push thousands of tons of steel through the water. The captain doesn't even know how the turbines work. He only touches buttons and moves levers. Below him, far below, in the depths of the ship where the sunlight does not enter, is the immense engine room. There is a crew of thousands of strong, sweaty, and obedient men. There are gigantic boilers, pistons the size of buildings, massive gears, and roaring furnaces. There resides the true power of the ship. This is your subconscious mind. Here is the key to the mystery. The men in the engine room do not see the outside. They don't know if the ship is heading toward a tropical port or an iceberg. They don't know if it is day or night. They don't care about the destination. Their only function, their only law, is blind obedience to the orders that come down from the bridge. If the captain, your conscious, says through the megaphone, "Full speed north," the crew in the engine room, your subconscious, throws coal into the fire and accelerates the engines. They don't go up to the bridge to ask, "Hey, Captain, are you sure?" Because the radar says there are dangerous rocks to the north. No, they do not reason. They execute. They assume that the captain knows what he is doing. If the captain, out of fear, confusion, or ignorance, gives the order, "Turn toward the reefs," the crew will turn toward the reefs with the same efficiency and enthusiasm with which they would turn toward a safe port. The subconscious does not judge your orders. The subconscious does not say, "This is a stupid idea, I better not do it." The subconscious says, "At your command, sir," and it moves the energy of the universe to fulfill your decree. Now look at your life. Look at your bank account. Look at your health. Look at your relationships. Everything you see is the result of the orders you have been sending to the engine room for years. The problem is that most people are drunk, asleep, or terrified captains. They are on the bridge shouting destructive orders without realizing the microphone is on. Every time you say, "I can't afford this," your subconscious in the engine room takes note. The captain says we have no resources, block all opportunities, generate unforeseen expenses, make sure he can't afford it. And you are surprised when the money doesn't arrive. Every time you say, "I always get sick in winter," your subconscious, which controls your immune system, says, "Order received. Lower the defenses. Prepare the mucous membranes for infection. The captain wants to get sick in winter and his wish is my law." And you are surprised when you get the flu. Every time you say, "I will never find the right person, everyone betrays me," your subconscious says, "Attention. Activate the attraction radar. Look only for unfaithful, lying, or unavailable people." The captain wants to confirm his theory that everyone betrays. Do you realize the horror and the wonder of this? Your subconscious does not try to hurt you. On the contrary, it loves you so much and is so faithful that it gives you exactly what you say and feel, even if it destroys you. It is such a perfect servant that it will serve you poison if you ask for it in a gold cup. People say, "But I didn't ask to be poor, I want to be rich." Yes, consciously you want it, but subconsciously, in your internal dialogue, in your deep feelings, you are emitting the signal of, "I am afraid of poverty," or "money is hard." And the subconscious does not listen to your superficial desire. It listens to your deep conviction. The captain does not give orders only with words. He gives orders with emotions. Emotion is the megaphone. An order given without emotion is a whisper. An order charged with fear or faith is a shout that puts the turbines at maximum. Let's change the metaphor for a moment to illuminate another vital aspect. fertility. Imagine your mind as a garden. You, your conscious mind, are the gardener. You have a bag of seeds in your hand. Those seeds are your habitual thoughts. The earth, your subconscious mind, is the rich, dark, moist soil. Here an immutable biological law operates. The earth does not discriminate the seed. If you plant corn, the earth will give you corn. If you plant belladonna, a deadly poison, the earth will give you belladonna with the same love and power. The earth does not say, hey, this is poison. I'm not going to let it grow because it will kill you. The earth doesn't care. The earth is neutral. Its function is to make grow. Its function is to multiply. If you plant a seed of failure, I'm no good at this, the subconscious will nourish it. It will give it roots, water it with your emotions, and make it grow into a forest of failures in your life. Everything that reaches your subconscious must manifest on your screen of space. It is a law. There are no exceptions. As within, so without. As you sow, so shall you reap. That is why the chaos you see in the world and in your life is not a punishment from God. It is poor agricultural management. You have been planting nettles and expecting to harvest roses. You have been thinking about illness and expecting health. You have been fearing loneliness and expecting love. The master secret is this: change the seed, the conscious thought, and the earth, the subconscious, will inevitably change the harvest, the reality. The primary function of your conscious mind is not only to give orders but also to protect. Your conscious mind has a critical faculty. It can reason. It can say, this is true, or this is a lie. The subconscious does not have that faculty. The subconscious is amoral. It does not distinguish between right and wrong, nor between real and imaginary. It accepts everything as absolute truth. If I hypnotize you and tell your subconscious that you are a dog, you will start barking. You will not reason. If I tell your subconscious that you have a hot iron bar on your arm, even if it is a cold pencil, your skin will develop a real burn blister. That is how powerful and how vulnerable it is. That is why your conscious mind must act as a guardian at the gate. Imagine that the entrance to the engine room is guarded. You are the guard. Thoughts, news, comments from friends, and suggestions from the world arrive. The news comes, there is a terrible economic crisis. We are all going to lose money. You, as the conscious guardian, have two options. 1. Accept the suggestion. Say, it's true, how scary. You let that thought pass into the engine room. The crew receives it and starts to materialize poverty in your life. 2. Reject the suggestion. Say, that may be true for others, but not for me. My world is full of divine wealth. You slam the door in the face of that thought. The engine room never receives the order of crisis, and therefore you continue to prosper. Most people have no guard at the gate. They have the door wide open. They let in all the world's trash, the fear from the news, the envy of neighbors, illness statistics, and their subconscious, obedient and fertile, takes all that trash and turns it into their life experience. You have to wake up the guardian. You have to become a fanatic about what you let in. The Bible says, above all else, guard your heart, subconscious, for everything you do flows from it. Dr. Murphy taught us that the subconscious mind works through deductive syllogisms. This sounds complex, but it is very simple. It is basic logic. One major premise, belief accepted by the subconscious: all mushrooms are poisonous. 2. Minor premise, current experience: this is a mushroom. First conclusion, inevitable reaction: this is going to kill me. If your subconscious has accepted the major premise that money corrupts people, and life presents you with the minor premise, here is an opportunity to earn $1 million. The inevitable conclusion will be, keep it away from me. I don't want to be corrupt. And you will sabotage yourself. You will lose the business. You will get sick on the day of the meeting. It doesn't matter how hard you try consciously. The logic of the subconscious always wins. You cannot fight against the syllogism. You have to change the major premise. You have to go down to the engine room and rewrite the base code. You have to convince your subconscious that money is divine energy and blesses my life. Once that new premise is installed, the automatic conclusion changes to, "Let wealth come to me." Do not think this is just psychology. It is biology. Your subconscious mind is the builder of your body. It knows how to make your heart beat without you thinking about it. It controls your digestion, your circulation, the growth of your hair, and the repair of your tissues. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never sleeps. If your conscious mind, the captain, is full of fear, worry, and anxiety, it interferes with the normal rhythm of the heart and breathing. Anxiety is a constant emergency order. The subconscious obeys and fills the body with cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this destroys the organs. We call it psychosomatic illness, but in reality, it is a poorly given order. If you want to heal, you have to stop interfering. You have to give the builder the blueprints of perfect health. You cannot heal by thinking about illness. You have to imagine the end result, the healthy, strong, and vibrant body. The subconscious has the gold standard of your body. It knows how to return to it if you stop bombarding it with thoughts of, "I am sick, it hurts, I will never heal." A vital warning that you must carve into your memory. Your subconscious does not understand jokes. Never ever joke about your own misfortune. Never sarcastically say, "I'm sure it will go wrong as usual." Never say, "I'm dying to. This will cost me an arm and a leg. It breaks my heart." You think it's just a way of speaking. Your subconscious takes it as a literal instruction. If you say, "It breaks my heart," you are inviting heart problems or severe emotional distress. If you say, "I have the memory of a goldfish," you are ordering your brain to stop remembering. The captain must never joke about sinking the ship. The crew does not understand irony. From today on, watch your mouth. Every word is a decree. If you are not going to say something that blesses, heals, or prospers, it is better to remain silent. Get used to speaking only positively about yourself and your affairs. At first, it will feel strange, artificial. You will feel like you are lying to yourself. It doesn't matter. You are training the crew. Fake it until you believe it. Tell yourself, "I have a prodigious memory. Money loves me. I am irresistible." The exercise, the word diet. To close this first chapter, let's take action. Knowledge without application is noise. I propose a challenge for the next 24 hours. We will call it the Truth Diet. Your task is simple but difficult. Never finish a negative sentence about yourself. If you start to say, "I don't have stop. Bite your tongue. Cut the sentence in midair and reverse it immediately. Replace it with an affirmation of divine truth. If you were going to say, "I don't have money," change it to, "God's infinite supply flows to me now." If you were going to say, "I am so tired," change it to, "Infinite energy revitalizes me." Do this every time, no exceptions. Imagine that every negative thought is a drop of poison you are about to put in your food. If you realized it, would you eat it? No, you would throw it away. Do the same with your mind. Your subconscious is listening right now. What are you telling it? Are you telling it the story of your limitations or the story of your greatness? The captain has awakened. You have the wheel in your hands. The engines are on. The crew waits. Where will you sail today? Chapter 2. The Law of Belief, How Magic Works. There is a law. It is as real as the law of gravity. It is as exact as mathematics. And it is as implacable as the passage of time. This law does not discriminate between the saint and the sinner. It does not care if you are rich or poor, if you are kind or cruel. This law governs your life from the moment you took your first breath until the moment you exhale your last. It is the law of belief. The Bible, that great psychological manual written in code, summarizes it in a phrase that has been misinterpreted for 2,000 years. "If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth," Mark 9:23. And also, "According to your faith be it unto you." People hear the word faith and think of religion. They think of dogmas, churches, and rituals. But Dr. Murphy came to teach us that faith has nothing to do with a creed. Faith is a mental state. Faith is a thought repeated in your mind until it solidifies. The law of life is, pure and simple, the law of belief. What you believe about yourself, about life, and about the universe is what you are going to experience. Not what you want, not what you desire, but what you believe. Today, we are going to remove the mystical veil from magic. We are going to enter the laboratory of the mind to understand the chemistry of belief. You're going to discover why your prayers have not been answered yet and how to change the code so that the universe has no other option but to say yes to you. Let's start by tearing down a gigantic myth. Throughout history, people have been healed and have obtained miracles by praying to all kinds of things. Some pray to a bearded god in the sky. Others pray to a wooden statue. Others pray to fire. Others pray to the bones of saints. In Africa, some pray to a juju charm. And the amazing thing is that all of them get results. The man who prays to the statue is cured. The one who prays to the bone is cured. The atheist who trusts in a sugar pill, placebo, is cured. How is this possible? Do the bones have power? Does the wooden statue have power? Of course not. If the statue had power, it would heal itself if it broke. The power is not in the object. The power resides entirely in the belief of the subject. The object is just a trigger. It is a permission you give yourself to activate your own omnipotence. When the sick person touches the saint's bone, their conscious mind accepts the premise, this bone is miraculous, therefore I am healed. That belief is imprinted on the subconscious. And the subconscious, which is the builder of the body, obeys and repairs the tissue. The miracle was not performed by the saint. The miracle was performed by your own subconscious mind, responding to the intensity of your faith. Understanding this sets you free. It means you don't depend on anything external. You don't need to go to Mecca or Lourdes or India. Your mind is the place of pilgrimage. The magic is not in the wand, it is in the magician. To master the law of belief, you must understand the nature of the infinite intelligence that inhabits you. Many people are afraid of God because they believe God is judging them. They believe that if they ask for money, God will think they are selfish. They believe that if they get sick, it is because God is punishing them. Listen to me carefully. Your subconscious is neutral. It is like electricity. Electricity is not good or bad. If you use electricity to light a hospital and save lives, electricity says yes. If you use electricity to electrocute a prisoner in the electric chair, electricity says yes. It does not judge the use. It only delivers the power. Your subconscious mind works the same way. It is a principle, not a person. It has no morality. It has no grudge. It has no favorites. If you deeply believe life is a valley of tears, your subconscious, which is God in you, will say, accepted. Here you have more tears, more pain, and more suffering, because that is your order. It does not punish you. It confirms you. It proves you right. If you deeply believe, I am a child of fortune and everything I touch prospers, your subconscious will say, accepted. Here you have opportunities, luck, and money. It does not reward you. It simply reflects your belief. The Bible says, He maketh His sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. Matthew 5:45. This is pure metaphysics. The principle of the mind is available to everyone equally. The only sin is ignorance of how to use it. Joseph Murphy was a master of logic. He taught us that the mind operates through syllogisms. A syllogism is a three-part logical structure. If the first two parts are accepted, the third is inevitable. Look at how you are programming your destiny right now. The syllogism of poverty. One major premise, general belief. Money is hard to get and the economy is terrible. Two minor premise, your situation. I need money and I am in this economy. Three conclusion, reality. Therefore for me it will be hard to get money and I will suffer. Your subconscious is a deductive machine. Once it accepts the major premise, it cannot give you a different conclusion. It is impossible for you to have financial success if your major premise is money is evil or it is hard. It would be a logical contradiction for your operating system. To make magic, you have to hack the syllogism. You have to change the major premise, the syllogism of the miracle. One major premise, wealth is divine energy and flows infinitely to those who open themselves to it. Two minor premise, I am a divine creation open to receiving. Three conclusion, therefore wealth flows to me inevitably, effortlessly, and in abundance. When you install this new major premise in your subconscious, Reality must reorganize itself so that the conclusion is true. Coincidences begin to happen. They call you. They give to you. You find things. It is not luck. It is subconscious logic fulfilling itself. This is where most fail. You look at your reality and see facts. The fact is that you have a $10,000 debt. The fact is that the doctor said your illness is chronic. The fact is that you are alone. And you say, how am I going to believe I am rich if the fact is that I am broke? I would be lying to myself. Dr. Murphy taught us the vital difference between facts and the truth. Facts are temporary. They are the result of your past beliefs. They are dust. They change. Ice is a fact, but if you apply heat to it, it turns into water. The truth is eternal. The truth is that you are spirit, and the spirit is limitless, abundant, and perfect. When you accept a negative fact as a final sentence, you bow down to it. You worship it. You make it your God. If you believe in your debt more than in your ability to generate wealth, you have made debt your idol. The law of belief requires you to deny the authority of the negative fact. It doesn't mean you don't pay the bill. It means you don't accept that the bill defines your future. You must say, it is a fact that I am broke today. But the truth is that my supply is infinite. Therefore, this fact is temporary and is changing right now. Never allow a 3D world fact to dictate your belief. Your belief must dictate the facts. Their belief is nothing more than a thought that you have thought many times. No one is born believing they are shy or bad at math. They told you once. It hurt you. Emotion. They repeated it to you. You told yourself. And in the end, a groove was formed in your mental vinyl record. Now the needle falls into that groove automatically. To install a new belief, magic, you need 2 ingredients. 1, repetition. You have to run the mental lawnmower many times over the same path to create a trail in the jungle. An affirmation said once does nothing. 2, emotion. This is the glue. A dry thought, I am rich, is like a dry seed on a stone. It does not germinate. You need to wet the seed with emotion, enthusiasm, gratitude, peace, or even positive indignation. Enough, I deserve more. The subconscious responds to feeling. If you say, I have perfect health, but you feel fear and pain, the subconscious receives the signal of fear, not the word health. That is why the secret is not just repeating like a parrot. The secret is to feel the reality of what you say. How would you feel if you were already rich? Would you feel anxious? No. You would feel calm, secure, maybe a little excited. That feeling of calm and security is the ink with which the belief is written. If your logical mind, that skeptical captain on the bridge, still doubts that your belief can alter matter, look at medical science. The placebo effect is irrefutable proof of the law of belief. In double-blind experiments, a group of patients with ulcers or depression is given a sugar pill, inert, but the doctor, an authority figure, suggestion, tells them, this is a powerful and potent new medicine that will cure you in 3 days. The patient believes. Their conscious mind accepts the premise. It transfers the order to the subconscious, and the subconscious manufactures within the body the exact chemicals needed to heal the ulcer or balance the serotonin. The patient is cured with sugar. Who cured them? It was not the sugar, it was their activated belief. If your mind can manufacture complex chemicals to cure a cancer or an ulcer just because it believes it took a medicine, what else can it manufacture? It can manufacture the coincidences to make you rich. It can manufacture the charisma so that you find love. The mechanism is identical. You are the patient and you are the doctor. The sugar pill is your affirmations. If you believe in them, they work. Why is it so hard to believe good things? Because we live under a bombardment of heterosuggestion, suggestion that comes from others. Since you were born, the world has been hypnotizing you. Life is hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. At your age, it's already hard to lose weight. Prepare for the worst. You are hypnotized. You think they are your thoughts, but they are mental viruses implanted by society, the news, and your family. The law of belief works against you because you have accepted the beliefs of the masses. Spiritual awakening is a process of dehypnosis. You have to wake up from the trance of mediocrity. Every time you hear a negative generalization, there is a lot of flu this year, you have to reject it mentally. Say to yourself, "That has nothing to do with me. I'm immune. My body is a temple of health." If you do not reject the negative suggestion, your subconscious accepts it by default. You have to be a fierce guardian. Your mind is a private garden, and society tries to throw trash over the fence every day. Give them back their trash. Joseph Murphy taught us that you cannot fight a negative thought. If I tell you, "Do not think about the Statue of Liberty," you immediately think about it. If you fight against your fear of poverty, "I don't want to be poor," you focus on poverty. The law of belief requires the law of substitution. When a negative thought comes, "I won't be able to pay," do not fight it. Immediately, replace it with its positive opposite, like someone changing a slide in a projector. Take out the debt slide and put in the God's abundance slide. Say, "God is my instant and eternal source. All my needs are met at the right moment." Do it 1,000 times a day if necessary. At first, the negative thought will return like a bothersome fly. Substitute it again and again. There will come a moment when the negative thought will give up. You will have starved the old neuronal belief and fed the new one. I want you to understand this with crystal clarity. Fear is not something bad in itself. Fear is simply the law of belief working in reverse. To be afraid is to have an unshakable faith that something bad is going to happen. It is using your divine power of imagination to create monsters instead of angels. When you worry, you are praying for what you do not want. Worry is a negative prayer. You are visualizing disaster, feeling the distress of disaster, and decreeing disaster. And your subconscious says, "Understood. If you put so much emotion into this, it must be what you want. I will bring it to you." Every time you feel fear, stop and say, "I am using my power in reverse. I am going to reverse the current." Use that same imaginative intensity to visualize the best possible outcome. If you have faith in evil, fear, you have the capacity to have faith in good. It is the same muscle. You just have to turn the steering wheel. Practical exercise, the mirror of truth. Let's perform a deep reprogramming exercise. You need a mirror and 5 minutes of solitude. Look yourself in the eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul, subconscious. Most people cannot hold their own gaze because they are full of guilt and criticism. Hold your gaze, and you are going to declare your new major premise. You are going to speak to your crew. Say aloud, with authority and calm, "I believe in the infinite power that inhabits me. I reject and cancel any belief of scarcity or limitation that I have accepted in the past. From today on, my law is abundance, my law is health, my law is love. Be it unto me according to this new faith." Feel how the words enter through your eyes and go down to your heart. Repeat it until you feel a chill, a sense of certainty, or even the urge to cry. It is the release of the old pressure. You have planted the seed. Now, do not dig it up with doubts. Let it grow. Chapter 3. Reversed effort why you fail to manifest. Imagine that you are pushing a door. You push it with all your strength. You sweat. Your muscles tremble, your shoulders ache. You scream in frustration. You have spent years pushing that door called wealth, or that door called health. And the door doesn't move a single millimeter. You are exhausted. You are about to give up. And then, exhausted, you lean against the door and take a step back to breathe. And the door opens on its own. It was a door that opened toward you, not outward. All your titanic effort, all your struggle, all your willpower was not only useless, it was what kept the door closed. Welcome to the most frustrating and liberating paradox of the human mind. Welcome to the law of reversed effort. The world has taught you a dangerous lie. They have told you, if you want something, fight for it. No pain, no gain. Strive to the maximum. In the physical world, moving bricks or digging ditches, this may be true. But in the world of the mind, in the realm of the subconscious, effort is deadly. Effort implies resistance. Effort implies that there is an obstacle. And when you exert yourself mentally to force your subconscious to do something, you activate a psychological law that guarantees your failure. Dr. Joseph Murphy explained it with crystal clarity. When your desires and your imagination are in conflict, your imagination invariably wins the day. Today, you are going to learn to stop pushing the door. You are going to learn the art of effortless action. To understand why your willpower is useless against your internal programming, Let's use the classic analogy of psychology. Imagine that I put a wooden plank on the floor. It is 30 centimeters wide and 10 meters long. I ask you to walk on it from one end to the other. Would you do it? Of course, it's easy, it requires no effort. Your will, I want to cross, and your imagination, I see myself crossing, are aligned. You walk calmly. Now, imagine that I take that same plank, identical, and place it suspended between two skyscrapers, 200 meters high. And I ask you to walk on it. What happens now? Your will says, I want to cross. I want to reach the other side to win the prize. But your imagination visualizes the fall. Your imagination sees your body crashing against the asphalt. You feel the vertigo. Fear paralyzes you. If you try to cross using your willpower to overcome the fear, what will happen? The more you strive not to fall, the more you will tense your muscles. Your body will tremble. You will lose your balance. And you will fall. Why? Because there was a conflict between what you wanted to do, will, and what you imagined would happen, imagination. And the law of the mind dictates, whenever there is conflict, imagination wins. Imagination is the function of the subconscious. Will is the function of the conscious. The subconscious is millions of times more powerful. It's like trying to stop a freight train, subconscious, by putting a bicycle wheel on the track. The train will win. This is what you do with your life. Your will says, I want to be rich. I'm going to work hard. But your imagination, programmed with fear, says, I am going to fail. I will be poor. The more you strive consciously, the more you activate the subconscious fear of the fall. The result is reversed effort. You get the opposite of what you desire. The more you try not to fall, the more you fall. The more you try not to be poor, the poorer you become, because your focus is on the fear, not the goal. Let's analyze an example that we have all lived through: insomnia. You are in bed. You need to sleep because tomorrow you have an important meeting. Your will says, I have to sleep. I am going to sleep now. And you begin to strive to sleep. You force yourself to close your eyes, you tense your body, you look at the clock. Relax, damn it, relax, you shout at yourself mentally. Does it work? Never. The more you strive to sleep, the more awake you are. You are using force to achieve something that only occurs through surrender. Sleep comes when you stop trying to sleep. It comes when you let go of control. While you try, you are in tension, and tension is the enemy of sleep. The same occurs with the manifestation of desires. The subconscious only accepts your ideas when you are in a passive, relaxed state, similar to sleep. If you try to imprint an idea of wealth using tension, stress, and urgency, you are hitting a brick wall. Your subconscious closes. It is called mental constriction. The captain is shouting so loud and so hysterically that the crew gets scared and blocks the machines. Healing, wealth, and love are not conquered by force. They are accepted in the calm. You must approach your subconscious as one approaches a bird, softly. Language reveals your state of reversed effort. Listen to how you talk about your goals. I am going to try to heal. I am going to fight to get out of debt. I am going to do everything possible to find a partner. The word try is metaphysical poison. It implies the possibility and the expectation of failure. If I take a pencil from the table, I don't say I am going to try to take the pencil. I simply take it. I only try to lift something that I believe is too heavy for me. When you say, I am going to try to be rich, you are telling your subconscious, this is very difficult, it is a heavy burden. Your subconscious receives the signal of difficulty, and as it is a faithful servant, it makes everything difficult for you. It will put obstacles in your way to confirm your belief that it is a struggle. The master of the mind does not try. The master assumes. The master does not fight against poverty. They simply ignore it and focus on wealth. The master does not fight against disease. They rest in health. Eliminate the word struggle, battle, effort, and sacrifice from your spiritual vocabulary. Those words belong to the old paradigm. Let's talk about what happens physically in your brain when you use effort. When you stress about achieving something, your brain shifts to high beta waves. You enter survival mode. Your focus narrows. Your body releases cortisol. In this state, the connection between the conscious and the subconscious closes. If, in that state of anxiety, you try to make positive affirmations, It is like trying to sow seeds in a block of cement. You say, I am rich, with clenched teeth and a stomach churning with fear of the bills. What are you really recording? You are recording the anxiety, not the wealth. Your subconscious does not listen to the words. It feels the vibration of fear. And it says, the captain is terrified by the lack of money, more scarcity. That is why Dr. Murphy insisted so much. Do not force your mind. Do not use coercion. If you feel that you are pushing, stop. Effort is a sign that you have lost faith. So how do we imprint the desire if we cannot use force? The answer is liquefying the mind. Concrete does not accept seeds, but water does. You have to take your mind from a solid state, beta, alert, stress, to a liquid state, alpha, theta, relaxation, sleepiness. Joseph Murphy called this sleep therapy or the drowsy state. It is that moment just before sleeping, or just upon waking, or after a deep meditation. In that state, the guardian at the gate is sleepy. He has lowered his guard. The door to the engine room is open. There is no resistance, no effort. In that state, any idea that you drop gently into the mind sinks to the bottom and germinates. You don't have to shout, you have to whisper. Imagine that your subconscious is a sleeping baby. You don't shout orders at him, you whisper a lullaby in his ear. Wealth, success, health. I'm going to teach you how to deactivate reversed effort in 3 minutes. 1. Immobilize the body. Sit or lie down. Physical activity stimulates the objective mind. 2. Defocus attention. Stop thinking about the problem. Close your eyes. 3. Speak to your body. Say, feet relax, legs relax, everything is at peace. 4. Introduce the idea. Now in that peace, visualize your desire fulfilled, but not as a frenetic movie, but as a static image or a short phrase. Simply feel the satisfaction. Say, thank you, it is done. Feel the effort disappear. The door has opened. Here is the nuance that separates dreamers from manifestors. Not using effort does not mean being mentally lazy. It means using disciplined imagination. Reversed effort occurs when your attention jumps from desire to fear. That tug of war is what exhausts you. The discipline of the magician consists of maintaining attention on the final result without tension. It's like driving a car. You don't squeeze the wheel with fury. You hold it gently, but you keep it in the lane. If the mind deviates to fear, gently bring it back to the image of success, without scolding yourself. Dr. Murphy told the story of a brilliant student who always failed exams. He knew the subject, but when he sat in front of the exam, fear paralyzed him. He tried with all his might to remember. I have to remember. And his mind went blank. Reversed effort. His fear of forgetting was stronger than his will to remember. Only when he left the exam and relaxed, the answers came to his mind all at once. Murphy taught him to stop fighting. He taught him to relax before the exam, to imagine his mother congratulating him. The result was that his subconscious, released from tension, flowed freely. He became the top of his class. The same thing happens to you. You are failing the exam of life because you are too tense trying to pass. Money flees from desperate people. Love flees from needy people. Health flees from hypochondriacs. Let go. Trust that the infinite intelligence knows the answers and will give them to you if you stop strangling the channel. Imagine that you are in a labyrinth. Effort is running through the corridors, hitting the walls, seeking the exit with anxiety. The master secret is to rise above the labyrinth with imagination. See the exit and place yourself mentally there. Do not worry about the means, the how. Reversed effort arises when you try to control the how. How will I get the money? Where will it come from? That anxiety blocks the process. Your job is not the how. Your job is the what, the desire, and the now, the acceptance. Leave the details to the engine room. When you focus on the end, I am celebrating my success, you relax, because if you are already at the end, there is nothing to fight for. You already won. That feeling of I already won is the master key. No one strives for something they already have. If you strive, you are declaring I don't have it. Chapter 4, Your Divine Right to Wealth, the Money Block. It is time to talk about what really worries you. It is time to talk about that energy that moves the world, that builds hospitals, that feeds families, and that allows creative freedom. It is time to talk about money. And before your conditioned mind begins to build walls of defense, before that puritanical voice in your head says, money is not important, or one should not talk about money in a spiritual book, I want you to hear the first great truth of this chapter. There is no virtue in poverty. Poverty is not spirituality, it is a mental illness. Poverty is not humility, it is a restriction of divine power. You are here to grow, to expand, and to unfold spiritually, mentally, and materially. You have the inalienable right to develop completely and express yourself in all aspects. To do that in our society, you need resources, you need money. Therefore, you have the divine right to be rich. If God is infinite, why should his child live in lack? Would a rich and loving father force his child to live in misery to teach him a lesson? No, that would be cruelty. The infinite intelligence wants you to be rich, because through your wealth she can express herself better. If you have money, you can travel and admire the creation. You can buy art and celebrate beauty. You can help others and practice charity. Without money, you are limited, and God knows no limits. Today we are going to clean the dirt that has blocked your pipe of abundance for years. We are going to eliminate guilt. We are going to eliminate envy. And we are going to teach you how to use the law of belief so that money flows toward you like an unstoppable avalanche. Dr. Murphy was blunt about this. If you were physically ill, if you had a fever and pain, you would go to the doctor. You would say, something is wrong with my system. In the same way, if you do not have enough money to cover all your needs and desires, you are sick. If you live worried about bills, if you have to choose between buying food or medicine, something is wrong with your mental system. There is a blockage in your flow of energy. Money is only a symbol. It is the symbol of economic circulation. When blood circulates freely in your body, you are healthy. When money circulates freely in your life, you are economically healthy. When money stops, stagnates, or disappears, it is a sign of a mental clot, a blockage of fear or guilt. Do not resign yourself to poverty. Do not say, it is the will of God. It is never God's will for you to suffer lack, just as it is not his will for you to suffer cancer. You must be healthily indignant. You must say, I refuse to accept this situation. I was born for abundance. Here is the largest clot in the artery of humanity. A biblical quote mistranslated and maliciously used to control the masses. Money is the root of all evil. That is false. The actual quote is, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. There is an abysmal difference. Worshipping money, putting money above integrity, above human love, above God. That is idolatry and causes suffering. But using money, enjoying money, and circulating money is divine. Is copper bad? Is paper bad? Money is simply paper and metal. It has no morality. If you use $50 to get drunk and do harm, the money was neutral. Your intention was harmful. If you use $50 to buy food for your child, the money is blessed. Deprogramming this is vital. If in the depths of your heart you believe that money is dirty or that the rich are evil, you will never be rich. It is impossible. Your subconscious will always distance you from what you consider bad or dirty. You must start blessing money. This is the number one mistake made by wealth seekers. They want to be rich, but they criticize the rich. You see someone pass in a luxury car and you say, surely he is a drug dealer. Surely he stole that money. Look how arrogant. Listen to me carefully. By criticizing the wealth of another, you are cursing your own wealth. Your subconscious does not distinguish between the other and you. When you condemn wealth in your neighbor, your subconscious understands wealth is condemnable. And then it says, understood, Captain. I will protect you from being condemned. I will keep wealth far from you. Envy is the most effective plug for abundance. Envy is a declaration of impotence. To unblock the flow, you have to do the opposite. You have to bless the rich. When you see that luxury car, say, I bless that man and I bless his prosperity. I am glad that God is so abundant with him. By being glad for the wealth of others, you tell your subconscious, I like this. This is good. Bring me more. Another fundamental error is confusing the source with the channel. Your boss is not your source, your job is not your source, your clients are not your source, the government is not your source. All of them are simply channels. They are pipes through which money flows at this moment, but the source is the infinite intelligence. If you obsess over the channel, if I lose this job I die, you live in fear. You are worshipping the pipe instead of the water. Pipes break. Jobs end. But the source is inexhaustible. If you understand that your wealth comes from within, from your connection with the divine, you lose economic fear. If one pipe closes, you know the source will open another better pipe immediately. God is my instant and eternal supply. Money does not come from people. It comes through people, but it comes from the source. Stop treating people as if they were owners of your destiny. You are the owner because you have the direct connection to the warehouse. How do we imprint wealth on the subconscious? Here is where most fail with modern affirmations. If you are broke and you stand in front of the mirror saying, "I am a millionaire," your conscious mind will shout, "Liar, you don't even have rent money." Conflict occurs, and when there is conflict, the negative imagination wins. Your affirmation makes you feel poorer because it highlights the lack. Dr. Murphy developed a brilliant technique to avoid this conflict. He told his patients to use abstract words, words that represent eternal truths which the conscious mind cannot argue with. The technique: relax. Enter a drowsy state and repeat softly, like a lullaby, only these two words: wealth, success. Do it for 5 minutes, 3 or 4 times a day. By saying wealth, you're not saying I am rich now. You're invoking the concept of wealth. Your conscious mind cannot say it's a lie because wealth is a universal fact. It exists. The subconscious takes that vibration and magnifies it. Expand this technique to your daily life. When you walk down the street, play the wealth walk. Look at the beautiful houses. Look at the expensive shop windows. Look at the banks and say, all of this is God in action. All of this is abundance. Do not say, I could never buy that. Say, I accept that in my mind. It is part of my world. Visually appropriate the wealth of the world. If you see a gold watch, do not feel the separation. Feel that on the quantum level, it is already yours because you are perceiving it. By familiarizing yourself with luxury, you remove the fear. Many people are afraid to enter luxury stores. They feel unworthy. Enter. Breathe the air of wealth. Accustom your subconscious to that environment. Tell it, this is our natural place. Money is energy, and energy must flow. If you try to hoard money out of fear, I have to say for hard times, you are blocking the flow. You are decreeing that hard times will come, and they will because you have called them. The Dead Sea in Israel is so called because it receives water, but does not let it out. The water stagnates and kills life. You must be a river, not a stagnant reservoir. You must give. I don't just mean charity. I mean paying your bills with joy. When you pay for electricity, do not complain. Say, thank you for the service. I pay this with joy and I know that God multiplies it for me 10 times. Pay with a smile. Bless the one who receives your money. Make your money go out charged with love. Stinginess is a disease of the subconscious. It is the belief in scarcity. The rich man is generous because he knows there is more where that came from. Give tips. Help a friend. Show your subconscious that you trust the source. A common mistake is trying to force the subconscious with deadlines. I need $50,000 by the 15th of the month. If you do it with anxiety, you block the process. You are telling the infinite intelligence how and when to do its job. Would you tell an expert gardener how to make a rose grow faster by pulling the petals? No, you would ruin it. Plant the seed of wealth. Feel the reality of abundance, and then say, I leave it in your hands. I know the divine solution already exists. Sometimes the money arrives on the 14th at 11:59 p.m. Sometimes it arrives in a way you didn't expect. Let the infinite intelligence choose the path. Your job is to maintain faith in the what, wealth. The when and how are engine room problems. Many will say, I am too old to get rich. I missed my chance. Excuses. For the subconscious, there is no time. Colonel Sanders started KFC at age 65, broke and living on Social Security. Joseph Murphy cited cases of 80-year-olds starting empires. Wealth is a state of consciousness, not a career path. If you have the wealth consciousness, you can lose all your money today and be a millionaire again in a year. If you have poverty consciousness, you can win the lottery today and be broke in a year. Do not seek money. Seek the wealth consciousness. Money is the shadow. Consciousness is the body. The shadow always follows the body. You cannot catch the shadow if you do not move the body. Move your mind to opulence, and money will pursue you. Exercise the decree of opulence. I want you to listen to this decree. You can repeat it every morning or write it down. It is a synthesis of Murphy's philosophy. Close your eyes, breathe, and assume these words as your new truth. I am one with the infinite wealth of my subconscious mind. It is my right to be rich, happy, and successful. Money flows to me freely, copiously, and incessantly. I am always aware of my true value. I give of my talents freely, and I am financially blessed in a wonderful way. It is wonderful. I am grateful for the circulation of God's riches in my life. I am rich in my mind, and I manifest it in my world. So it is, and so it shall be. Feel the peace of that statement. There is no struggle, there is no I have to get, there is only flow. Chapter 5. Divine Healing, the body is the shadow of the mind. Look at yourself in a mirror. Touch your hand, feel your heartbeat. What you are touching and seeing seems solid. It seems like a fixed structure of flesh and bone that ages, breaks, and obeys purely physical laws. But your senses deceive you. Your body is not a solid object, your body is a river of energy. It is a constant process. Every 11 months, practically every atom in your body is replaced by a new one. Your skin renews every month, your liver every 6 weeks, your skeleton every 3 months. Physically, you are not the same person you were a year ago. So the big question arises, if my body is constantly renewing itself, why do I keep having the same disease, the same scar, or the same pain I had 5 years ago? The answer is disturbing and liberating. You keep the disease because you keep the mental mold of the disease. Your subconscious mind is the architect directing cellular renewal. And if you don't change the blueprints, the architect will keep building the same defective building over and over again. Welcome to the mystery of divine healing. In this chapter, we are going to discover that there are no incurable diseases. There are only incurable people, those who refuse to change their mindset. We are going to learn that your body is the shadow of your mind. If the shadow is deformed, it is useless to try to wash or scrub it. You have to correct the mind. Dr. Joseph Murphy used to say a phrase that disarmed skeptics. The power that created the body is the power that can heal the body. Think about it with cold logic. You began as a single microscopic cell, a union of an egg and a sperm. In that tiny cell, infinite intelligence was contained. That intelligence knew exactly how to build an eye, how to weave a nervous system, how to form a heart, and how to make it beat. It didn't need your conscious opinion. It didn't need you to read medical books. It did it in silence, in the darkness of the womb. It built the most perfect machine in the universe. Now I ask, if that intelligence knows how to build a liver from scratch, wouldn't it know how to repair a damaged liver? If it knows how to weave skin, wouldn't it know how to close a wound? Of course it knows. It does it every day. If you cut your finger, you don't make it heal. You clean it and bandage it. You set the conditions. But it is the subconscious vital principle that sends white blood cells, creates fibrin, weaves new skin, and closes the gap. It is an intelligent process. The problem arises when we, with our conscious mind full of fear, the terrified captain, interfere. Anxiety, stress, and the belief in disease are stop the work orders. When you are afraid, you contract blood vessels and suppress the immune system. You are sabotaging the builder. Divine healing is not asking God for an external miracle. It is stopping getting in God's way. The word incurable terrifies people, but if you break down the word, or if you analyze it metaphysically, it simply means beyond external cure. It means that current medicine, with its chemical and surgical methods, has reached its limit. But it does not mean infinite intelligence has reached its limit. For God, your subconscious, there is no difference between healing a pimple on the nose and healing advanced cancer. Both are simply a configuration of atoms that needs to be rearranged. For the architect, erasing a small line on the blueprint or erasing a large line requires the same effort. None. Only a change of thought. Joseph Murphy's archives are full of documented cases of spontaneous remissions, hopeless people sent home to die who suddenly heal. What happened? They changed their mind. They let go of fear. They forgave an old grudge. They surrendered to peace. And by changing the signal, the subconscious, released from pressure, rebuilt the perfect organ in record time. Do not reject medicine. Doctors are channels of divinity. If you break a bone, go to the doctor to align it. But remember, the doctor aligns the bone. The subconscious welds it. Where does disease come from? Except for physical accidents or extreme genetic conditions, the vast majority of modern ailments are psychosomatic, psyche, mind, soma, body. Disease is the somatization of an unresolved mental conflict. Let's analyze the spiritual anatomy of disease. The stomach and ulcers. What is it that you cannot swallow in your life? Whom do you not digest? An ulcer is not what you eat. It is what is eating you. It is repressed rage and constant fear. The heart. Where is the flow of love and joy blocked? If you take the joy out of your life, the heart loses its reason for being. The lungs. Asthma. What suffocates you? Do you feel you have no right to occupy your space, to breathe your own life? Arthritis. It is crystallized criticism. It is mental rigidity. The lack of flexibility toward life's changes becomes lack of flexibility in the joints. Accumulated resentment calcifies. Your body is the map of your consciousness. Pain is a red light on the car's dashboard. Don't be so foolish as to break the red light. Take painkillers to silence the symptom, and keep driving without checking the engine, the emotion. Thank the symptom. It is telling you to change the order. If you still think this is mysticism without a base, let's talk about the placebo effect, the most studied phenomenon in medicine. If you give a patient a sugar pill and tell them with authority, this will take away the pain, 40 to 60% report real relief. Their brain releases endorphins. Their belief becomes biology. But there is the evil twin, the nocebo effect. If you tell a healthy patient you have symptoms of a deadly disease, that patient may begin to wither and die, even if the autopsy later reveals they were healthy. They died by decree. They died because they accepted the suggestion of death. Do you understand the power you have? Every time you say, "This is going to make me feel bad," you are taking a nocebo pill. Every time you read the side effects of a medicine on Google and get scared, you are programming your body to suffer those effects. You have to become your own placebo doctor. How do we heal? Not by fighting the disease. Remember the previous chapter, reversed effort. If you focus on killing the tumor, your focus is on the tumor. You give it energy. The subconscious does not understand no. You have to focus on the pattern of perfection. The technique. Sit and relax. Enter the drowsy state. Stop thinking about the diseased organ. Invoke the inner architect. Visualize the organ or your entire body functioning perfectly. Not healing, process, but healthy, result. See yourself running, laughing, eating well. Affirm, the infinite intelligence that made my body is remaking it now. Its healing power flows through every atom and organ. My body is the temple of the living God, and God does not dwell in ruins. I am perfect health. Do this morning and night. Don't check for results after 5 minutes. That is doubt. Dr. Murphy told of people who healed specific organs by talking to them directly. Your liver has intelligence. Your eyes have intelligence. They are colonies of living cells that respond to the captain's voice. If you have been insulting your stomach, you always hurt. Ask for its forgiveness. Say, "I am sorry, my stomach. I have filled you with acidic thoughts and rage. I release you. Relax. I command you to function in divine peace and harmony. I bless you." Speak to your body with love, as you would to a frightened child. Tension prevents healing. Love facilitates it. Dilatus musculus. Release, let go. Tell your nerves, calm, peace. Your body obeys your voice if you speak with love and authority. Try it now. Feel your shoulders drop if you gently command them to. This is one of the most mystical and powerful parts of Murphy's teaching. Can you heal your mother living in another city? Yes, because in the subconscious mind, universal mind, there is no time or space. We are all connected in the ocean of the mind. Your subconscious and your mother's are the same sea. If you change your belief about your mother in your mind, the change is instantly transmitted to her mind through the universal connection. It is quantum resonance. How to do it? Do not pray asking, "Please heal Mom, she is so sick." That reinforces the image of disease. In your mind, visualize your mother healthy. Hear her say to you, I feel wonderful. Feel the reality of her health within you. When you convince your subconscious that she is healthy, that vibration travels and activates the healing power in her subconscious. You are the transmitting antenna. Many miracles described by Murphy happened this way. A daughter praying in New York for her father in Los Angeles, and the father getting out of bed the next day. Never underestimate the power of your prayer for others. You are your brother's keeper. I cannot talk about healing without talking about the number one poison, grudge. Murphy said, resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Resentment, bitterness, accumulated hatred, they are psychic pus. They rot the soul and then rot the body. It is impossible to have a radiant and healthy body if you have a mind full of hate. Hate is inflammation. If you have a chronic disease that won't go away, check your heart. Whom have you not forgiven? Whom do you keep condemning in your mind? That lack of forgiveness is the plug preventing divine health. Forgiveness is not a moral act to be good. It is an act of selfish hygiene. You forgive to get the toxic trash out of your system. You don't have to befriend the one who hurt you. You just have to release the desire to punish them mentally. Say, I release you and I release myself. I wish you peace. I wish you. My father died of a heart condition. My grandfather died of a heart condition, so I will die of a heart condition. This is a self-inflicted curse. It is true we inherit genetic tendencies, but epigenetics, the new science, and metaphysics agree. The gene is not destiny. The gene is a loaded gun, yes, but the environment pulls the trigger, and the environment of your cells is the chemistry of your blood, determined by your emotions. If you live with the same fear as your father, you will activate the same genes. But if you change your mind, you deactivate the defective gene. You can break the karmic chain of family disease. Tell yourself, I am a new lineage. My heritage is divine health, not medical statistics. Reject the hereditary suggestion. Dr. Murphy had a beautiful vision regarding aging. He said, the mind does not age. The spirit has no wrinkles. Old age is physical deterioration, yes, but it accelerates brutally when a person loses interest in life. People retire, withdraw from life, and die 2 years later. The subconscious receives the order, I am no longer useful, my work is done. And it begins to shut down the systems. Never retire mentally. Change activities, but keep the passion. Keep new projects. As long as you have a purpose, your subconscious will give you energy to fulfill it. Moses, according to the Bible, was 120 years old, and his eye was not dim nor his natural force abated. Youth is a state of curiosity and enthusiasm. Say, every day I am wiser, stronger in spirit and more vital. My life has no end, only changes of form. Exercise the total healing prayer. To close this chapter, I will give you a powerful prayer. Relax your body and repeat with feeling. The healing power of God is flowing through me right now. This river of life dissolves everything that does not resemble it. My body is a divine idea in the mind of God, and it is perfect. The infinite intelligence recreates every cell of my being according to the original pattern of harmony and health. Any distortion, blockage, or disease is now washed away by the ocean of divine love. I am relaxed. I am at peace. Healing is happening now in the silence. Thank you, Father, because it is done. Stay for a few minutes feeling that river of light. Feel the tingling in your hands or the affected area. It is the energy moving. Your body is faithful. It wants to heal. It just needs the captain to stop shouting "emergency" and start singing "peace." Now we have talked about giving orders during the day, but there is a magical moment, 1/3 of your life, where the captain falls asleep and the engine room remains completely open and vulnerable. It is the time of sleep. Most waste their nights, but the masters use the night to work. Chapter 6. The Sleep Technique, Nighttime Programming. You spend 8 hours a day disconnected from the world. That is 1/3 of your life. If you live 90 years, you will have spent 30 years sleeping. Most people believe that sleep is simply a blackout, a dead time where the body rests and the mind turns off. They believe it is a pause in existence. How wrong they are. Sleep is not a pause. Sleep is the night shift of your mental factory. While you, the conscious captain, rest in your cabin, the crew in the engine room, the subconscious, works with frenetic intensity. They never sleep. Your heart does not stop beating. Your lungs do not stop breathing. Your cells do not stop repairing themselves. Your digestion does not stop. The infinite intelligence remains active, directing all vital processes. But here is the secret that changes the game. During sleep, interference disappears. During the day, your conscious mind is full of noise, doubts, fears, and worries. These block the communication with your deep power. But when you fall asleep, the conscious mind turns off. The guardian at the gate goes to sleep. The armored door of the engine room is left wide open. It is the moment of greatest vulnerability and greatest opportunity. If you learn to use the last 5 minutes before sleeping, you can achieve more progress in one night than in years of daytime effort. You can go to sleep being one person and wake up being another. You can go to sleep with a problem and wake up with the solution served on a silver platter. Welcome to the sleep technique. Today you are going to learn to stop wasting your nights. Today you are going to learn to hire the night shift to build your empire while you dream. Let's understand why this moment is so magical. It is not superstition, it is neuroscience. During the day, your brain operates in beta waves. It is a state of alertness, logic, and defense. If I tell you you are rich, your beta brain says, lie, look at your bank account. There is resistance. As you relax and lie down, your brain drops to alpha waves. You feel calm, but just before losing consciousness, at that moment where images start to become blurry and the body feels heavy, you enter theta waves. The theta state is the state of deep hypnosis. In theta, the critical mind, the skeptical captain, is gone. Anything, I repeat, anything that you hold in your attention at that precise moment falls directly to the bottom of the subconscious without a filter. It is like dropping a coin into a deep well. There are no obstacles, it reaches the bottom. Dr. Murphy taught us that this is the golden moment for reprogramming. Effort is null. Resistance is zero. However, what do most people do in this sacred moment? They profane it. Analyze your nightly routine. You lie down, you turn off the light. And what do? You start reviewing the problems of the day. I fought with my boss. I don't know how I'll pay the credit card. My back hurts, it's probably getting worse. Or even worse, you watch the news or social media full of tragedies and envy right until your eyes close. Do you realize what you are doing? You are going down to the engine room right before leaving, and you are telling the chief engineer, "Tonight, I want you to manufacture more anxiety. I want you to process this fight over and over. I want you to incubate this disease so that tomorrow it is worse." And you go to sleep, and your subconscious, obedient, spends 8 hours magnifying your problems. You wake up tired, in a bad mood, with a clenched jaw. And you say, "I woke up on the wrong side of the bed." No, you woke up with the result of your nighttime programming. Murphy used to say, never go to sleep with a negative thought in your head. It is like sleeping with a cobra in the bed. What you think about last before sleeping is the seed that will germinate all night. If you take trash to bed, you will wake up in a landfill. To operate this technique, you must understand that sleep is a withdrawal from the sensory world. During the day, your 5 eyes, sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell, bombard you with facts from the outside world. They tell you that you are broke, alone, or sick. Sleep is the divine opportunity to disconnect those lying sensors. By closing your eyes and turning off the light, the outside world ceases to exist. In the darkness of your room, you are not poor, you are not rich, You simply are. You are pure mind. It is the perfect moment to create a new reality, because the old reality, the senses, is not there to contradict you. In that sensory void, your imagination is the absolute king. If in the darkness you imagine you are in Paris, for your subconscious, you are in Paris. There are no eyes open to see that you are in your room. That is why the night is the magician's workshop. During the day, you are tied to reality. During the night, you are free to build the truth. Joseph Murphy developed a specific technique for those who have a very restless mind, those people who cannot visualize because they get distracted. He called it the lullaby method. A mother does not give logical arguments to a baby to get them to sleep. She doesn't say, "Sleep because it is healthy." The mother sings a repetitive, monotonous, and soft phrase. That repetition lulls the mind and penetrates the soul. The technique consists of reducing your desire to a short phrase or a master word. Do not make long speeches. The subconscious prefers brevity. If you want money, wealth, and success. If you want health, perfect health, harmony. If you want to solve a problem, divine outflow, divine order. Enter the drowsy state and start repeating that phrase mentally over and over. But not with force, not with energy. Repeat it softly as if you were rocking yourself to sleep like a lullaby, slowly, leisurely. Wealth. Success. Let the word carry you into sleep. Let it be the last conscious thought before crossing the threshold. What happens then? That word remains floating on the surface of your deep mind. And while you sleep, that vibration expands. It saturates your neurons. It saturates your aura. In the morning, you will wake up with a sense of confidence and power. You have been marinated in the energy of success for 8 hours. Do you have a difficult problem? A legal trial, a business decision, can't find a lost object? Do not rack your brain during the day. Use the night shift. The infinite intelligence that resides in your subconscious knows everything. It has access to the universal mind where all the answers are, but you have to request the service. How to do it? Just before sleeping, speak to your subconscious as if it were a wise partner sitting on the edge of your bed. Say with authority and calm, "You know the answer to this problem. You know where the lost ring is. You know what the best decision is. I hand this matter over to you now. I want the answer in the morning. Wake me up with the clear solution. Thank you." And then, this is vital. Let go of the problem. Do not keep thinking about it. You already delegated it. If you hire an expert to fix your pipe, you don't stay looking over his shoulder and telling him what to do. You leave and let him work. Do the same. Think of something else, something nice, and fall asleep. How the answer arrives. Sometimes you will dream the answer, but most commonly it happens upon waking. You will get up and while you brush your teeth, boom, the idea will hit you like a lightning bolt. It's this. I have to call this person. Or you will feel an irresistible hunch to go to a place, and there you will find what you were looking for. That is the subconscious wisdom delivering the order. Murphy told the story of a man who lost a valuable ring. He applied this technique. In the dream, he saw a blurry image of an old shoe in the closet. He woke up, went to the closet, looked inside the shoe, and there was the ring. The subconscious had seen it all along, but the conscious was too stressed to access the memory. Sleep opened the file. There is a golden rule in metaphysics. Never go to sleep angry. If you go to sleep with hatred toward someone, that hatred ferments. During sleep, the subconscious takes that feeling of grievance and multiplies it. You will wake up more embittered and tired. Nightly resentment is the main cause of ulcers and heart problems. Before sleeping, you have to take out the trash. You have to clean the temple of your mind so that the nightly work is pure. If you had a fight, visualize the person. Say, "I forgive you, I release you, I let you go." The peace of God fills your soul and mine. There are no outstanding accounts. I sleep in peace. Do not do it for them. Do it for you. Clean your hard drive. If you fall asleep with grudge, you block the entrance of wealth and health. The subconscious cannot work in two opposite directions at the same time. Ensure that the only order that remains active at night is that of love and prosperity. Imagine that your subconscious is a bakery oven. Your thoughts are the dough. Sleep is the baking time. During the day, you prepare the dough. You mix your desires, your emotions, your visions. But the dough does not become bread until you put it in the oven and close the door. Going to sleep is putting the dough in the oven. If you spend the night opening the oven door, worrying, waking up with anxiety, the bread does not rise. It collapses. You have to trust the heat of the oven. You have to put your desire in, close the door, and know that the bread will be ready. This metaphor helps you understand why insomnia from worry is so destructive. It is culinary sabotage. If you cannot sleep, do not stay in bed struggling, reversed effort. Get up, read something spiritual or boring, calm your mind, and return to bed only when you are ready to trust the oven. Tell your mind the oven knows what to do, I rest. The sleep technique has a second part, the awakening. The first thought you have upon opening your eyes is critical. It determines the tone of your entire day. Most people wake up and say, "Oh no, another day, how lazy. I have so many problems." They have just aborted all the positive work the subconscious did during the night. They have just crushed the freshly baked bread. When you open your eyes, do not move. Stay still for a few seconds. That state, hypnopompic, is another magical window. Affirm immediately, "Thank you, Father, for this new day. Today is a day of divine success. Magic awaits me. Everything will go wonderfully well." Seal the nightly work with a morning decree. Catch the sense of peace from sleep and drag it with you into the day. If you wake up with an idea, write it down immediately. It is the facts the subconscious sent you from the night shift. Do not trust your memory. Dreams evaporate in seconds. Keep a notebook on the nightstand. We already talked about healing in the previous chapter, but sleep is the surgical moment. It is when the body enters anabolism, reconstruction. If you are sick, your best medicine is programmed sleep. Before sleeping, visualize your body full of light. Tell your subconscious, "Take control. Repair this organ while I rest, wake me up renewed." And fall asleep with the certainty that you are on God's operating table. The subconscious works best without the interference of your conscious fear. Many people have healed simply by sleeping a lot, and sleeping well size with the right programming. Stop watching your symptoms at night. Hand over the body and withdraw the mind. Exercise the perfect nightly ritual. Let's design your new ritual for tonight. From today on, it is forbidden to go to bed just to see what happens. You are going to bed with a purpose. Step 1. Mental hygiene. 15 minutes before. Turn off screens, no news, no arguments. Read a paragraph of a spiritual book or listen to soft music. Lower the revolutions. Step 2. The download. Cleaning. If there is something worrying you, write it down on paper and say, "I will deal with this tomorrow, it doesn't serve me now." Forgive whoever offended you. Step 3. The request, the order. If you need a solution, ask for it clearly. If you just want general prosperity, choose your lullaby. Step 4. The trance lullaby. Lie down. Relax the body from head to toe. Start repeating your word or phrase. Wealth, success, health, peace. Do it without effort. Step 5. Trust. Feel that you are being held by the infinite intelligence. Say, "I leave it in your hands. It is done." If you do this tonight, you will wake up different. You will wake up with a battery recharged not only with physical energy, but with spiritual energy. You will have advanced miles toward your goal while you were still. Chapter 7. The Power of Scientific Prayer, the Formula. We have reached the point where most people get lost. Millions of human beings around the world kneel every day. They join their hands, look at the sky and ask. They ask for money. They ask for health. They ask for their partner to return. They ask for the war to end. They cry, they plead, they promise sacrifices. And yet most of those prayers are never answered. The sick remain sick. The poor remain poor. Why? Is God deaf? Is he capricious and chooses to bless some and ignore others? Absolutely not. The infinite intelligence has no favorites. The reason these prayers fail is because they violate the fundamental laws of the mind. Praying from fear, desperation, and supplication is, metaphysically speaking, praying for failure. When you plead, "Please God, get me out of this poverty," you are vibrationally affirming, "I am poor, I am miserable, I have no power." And your subconscious, which is the executor of the law, says, "Confirmed, you are poor, here is more poverty." Today you're going to stop begging. Today you are going to learn to operate scientific prayer. Joseph Murphy taught us that prayer is not an act of worship to an external being. It is a frequency adjustment. It is a formula. Like in chemistry, if you mix 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen, you get water, always. Not sometimes, not God willing, always. If you combine the right thought with the right emotion, you get the manifestation. Always. Welcome to the laboratory of the soul. I'm going to give you the 5-step formula to build a prayer that the universe cannot ignore. First, let's clean up your vocabulary. In mental science, we often do not use the word prayer because it is contaminated by centuries of superstition. We prefer the word treatment. When you have an infection, you apply a medical treatment. When you have a situation of lack or disease, you apply a spiritual treatment. Treatment is a conscious movement of thought. It is moving your mind from the problem toward the solution. Traditional prayer focuses on the problem. "Look how big my debt is, Lord." Scientific prayer focuses on the solution. One looks at the darkness, the other turns on the light. Understand this, scientific prayer is not about changing God. God, the infinite intelligence, is already perfect, already abundance, already health. He does not need to change. Prayer is about changing you. It is about changing your own mind so that you can receive what is already there waiting for you. You don't pray for it to rain. You pray to open your inverted umbrella and collect the water that was always falling. Before asking for anything, you must know whom you are talking to. You are not talking to a man in the clouds. You are talking to the principle of life. Call it God, infinite intelligence, subconscious, Allah, energy, universe. The label doesn't matter. The connection does. Step 1, recognition, turning the gaze. The first step of the formula is to take your eyes off the problem. You cannot heal while you look at the wound and say, "How ugly it is." You have to look at the architect. You must recognize that a higher intelligence governs everything. Say, "There is an infinite wisdom that moves the galaxies and beats in my heart." It is omnipotent. It is love. It is absolute harmony. By doing this, you raise your vibration above fear. You remind yourself that the problem is small compared to the power you are going to invoke. Step 2, unification, the connection. Now that you have recognized that power, you must declare that you and that power are one. There is no separation. It is not God over there and me here. It is that infinite intelligence is operating through me right now. You are the pipe. God is the water. They are inseparable in the flow. Say, "I am one with the infinite. His power is my power. His wealth is my wealth. His mind is my mind." This step eliminates the feeling of unworthiness. You are an extension of divinity claiming your heritage. Once connected, you do not ask. You affirm. To affirm means to make firm. Scientific prayer declares the spiritual truth about the situation, ignoring the material facts. If you are sick, you do not say, "I want to be healed." You say, "Divine health flows through my veins. I am perfect, whole, and complete." You are declaring what is true on the spiritual plane so that it precipitates to the physical plane. You must construct your affirmation in the present tense. The subconscious only lives in the now. "I will be rich" is a trap. The "will be" never arrives. "I am rich" is an order. Although your pocket is empty, your "I am," your consciousness, is connected to the source. Your prayer must be a royal decree. Imagine you are a king writing an edict. Example of realization for money. I know that money is a divine idea. It symbolizes the freedom and beauty of God. Therefore, I accept wealth now. The infinite supply flows toward me in an avalanche of abundance. I accept this in my mind now. There is no supplication. There is logical and spiritual acceptance. This is the step that most forget, and it is the turbo thruster of prayer. You must give thanks before seeing the result. Jesus, before raising Lazarus, said, "Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me." He had not yet performed the miracle. Lazarus was still dead in the tomb. But he gave thanks before. Why? because gratitude is the ultimate sign of faith. You only give thanks when you have received something or when you are absolutely sure that you will be given it. If you ask for a favor and say thanks, you are closing the deal. By saying thank you, Father, you are telling your subconscious, it is already done, I have no doubts, the package is on the way. Gratitude eliminates anxiety. It is impossible to be truly grateful and worried at the same time. Always close your prayer with a deep, thank you, for it is done. Beginners fail here. They say the perfect prayer, feel the peace, and 5 minutes later they start worrying again. That is like planting a seed and digging it up 10 minutes later to see if it has roots. You kill it. The last step is to release. You have to hand over the problem to the infinite intelligence and take your hands off it. Imagine you have an urgent letter. You write it, prayer, you put the stamp on it, gratitude, and you drop it in the mailbox, release. Once the letter drops, it is no longer your problem. You don't keep holding the edge of the letter. You let go. You trust that the postal system works. Do the same with your subconscious. After the prayer, say, I leave it in your hands, matter concluded, and go do something else. Live your life. When doubt returns, and it will, do not pray the same prayer of petition again. Simply say, thank you, Father, we are already taking care of this. Do not reopen the court case. The verdict was already given in your favor. What does Amen really mean? It is not a religious word to say goodbye. It means, so it is, or so be it. In the ancient Egyptian tradition, it related to the hidden god Amun, the hidden that becomes visible. Psychologically, saying Amen, or so it is a hammer blow on the table. It is the fixing of the order. It is the final period of the sentence. When you say, so it is, feel the solidity of a rock. There is no turning back. The order has been dispatched. If you have been praying and see no results, check these 3 common failures. Mental coercion. You are praying with tension. You are trying to make it happen. Remember, prayer is not a struggle. It is a surrender to the truth. If you finish praying and you are exhausted, you did it wrong. Scientific prayer should leave you relaxed and at peace. B. Looking in the rear-view mirror. You pray for wealth in the morning and spend the rest of the day complaining about how expensive everything is. You have cancelled your prayer. Your words and feelings during the day must be consistent with your prayer. You cannot build with one hand and destroy with the other. C. Lack of deservingness. Deep down you believe you don't deserve what you ask for. Your subconscious will say, the captain asks for wealth, but feels guilty. Order rejected for inconsistency. You must forgive yourself before praying. Know that your desire for good is God's desire in you. Model 1. For wealth and financial success, use it morning and night. I recognize the presence of the infinite intelligence within me. I unify with it now. I know that God is the source of all supply, and that money is divine energy in action. I declare that divine wealth circulates in my life constantly and incessantly. There is always a divine surplus. My talents are in demand and generously rewarded. I bless all the money I have and all the money on the way. I see my bills paid and my life full of abundance. Thank you, Father, for it is already done. I release it into the universal mind. So it is. Model 2. For perfect health. Use it when you feel symptoms or pain. I withdraw my attention from the body and place it on the spirit. The infinite intelligence that created this body knows how to heal it. Its healing power is flowing right now through every cell, washing away all imperfection. Harmony, peace, and vitality are the only reality of my being. I visualize my body perfect and radiant. Any distortion is dissolved by divine love. I accept my healing now. Thank you for the perfect health manifesting. I am at peace. So be it. Model 3 for solving difficult problems. Use it when you don't know what to do. The infinite wisdom that guides the planets guides me now. I recognize that a divine solution exists for this problem, and I accept it. The perfect answer is already known by my deep mind. I declare that divine intelligence reveals to me the exact step I must take. Everything is resolving in divine order. I release worry and fear. I trust in the perfect result. Thank you for the answer that is already here. Amen. Sometimes faith wavers. Your logical mind attacks you. This is nonsense. Look at reality. In those cases, Murphy recommended using argumentative prayer. It is like a legal trial. You are the defense attorney. Your fear is the prosecutor. Your subconscious is the judge. You must present logical arguments to convince your own mind. Do not just say, I am rich. Say, it is logical that I am rich because I have talents the world needs. It is logical that God wants my prosperity because I am His child. If nature is abundant, I must be too. Argument with yourself until doubt crumbles under the weight of spiritual logic. Scientific prayer is not something you do for 5 minutes and forget. It is a lifestyle. It is called practicing the presence. It means walking through the day with the secret feeling that all is well. When a problem arises at work, do not panic. Make an instant mini-prayer, divine order. This resolves itself, and keep working. Become a mental alchemist. Every time the world throws lead at you, transmute it into gold with a silent affirmation. This does not touch me. I live under the law of grace. A 5-minute prayer cannot fix 12 hours of negative thinking. Exercise your first scientific prayer. You are going to write your own prayer. Do not use mine. Create yours. It has more power. 1. Take paper and pencil. 2. Write what your main desire is today, money, love, health. 3. Write a recognition phrase, God is. 4. Write a unification phrase, I am one with. 5. Write your decree in the present, I accept. 6. Write your gratitude, thank you. 7. Write your release, I release it. Read this prayer aloud right now. Feel the authority in your voice. Record yourself reading it and listen to it on your way to work. It is your Magna Carta. Chapter 8. Human Relations and Forgiveness. Look around you. What do you see? You see your partner, your parents, your boss, your neighbors, your enemies. You believe they are people separate from you. You believe they have their own will to love you or to hurt you. You believe that hell is other people, or that heaven is other people. But I am going to reveal a secret to you that will forever change the way you interact with humanity. There are no others. At the deep level of the subconscious mind, only you and your projection exist. The world is a gigantic hall of mirrors. Every person who crosses your path is a reflection of an aspect of your own consciousness. Those who love you reflect your self-love. Those who hate you reflect your self-contempt. Those who steal from you reflect your belief in lack. Joseph Murphy taught us the iron law of human relations. What you think and feel about the other, you are creating in your own experience. If you believe the world is full of bad people, your subconscious, which is a faithful magnet, will guide you only toward thieves, liars, and traitors to confirm your belief. If you believe people are divine and kind, your subconscious will guide you toward human angels. Today we are going to stop blaming people. We are going to stop trying to change your partner by force, which is impossible. We are going to work on the only person who can really change the movie script, you. Welcome to the art of relational alchemy. Let's start with love. Thousands of people write to me saying, I want a partner, I pray for a partner, but I only attract toxic men, women who abandon me. Why does prayer fail here? Because you are asking for what you want, but you are attracting what you are. Your subconscious does not attract what you consciously desire. It attracts your mental equivalent. If in your deep mind, perhaps due to inheritance or childhood trauma, you have the program recorded, I am not enough, love hurts, or all men are unfaithful. Your subconscious has the order to look exactly for someone who fulfills that role. You will walk into a room with 100 people. 99 are good and faithful. 1 is an unfaithful narcissist. Your subconscious radar will ignore the 99 and lead you straight to the narcissist. You will feel chemistry. That chemistry is not love. It is the recognition of pathology. It is your trauma recognizing its complementary actor. To break this cycle, you have to build a new mental equivalent. You have to design your ideal partner within you before meeting them outside of you. The qualities list technique. Murphy advised not to obsess over a specific face. Do not perform witchcraft trying to attract your ex or a celebrity. That violates free will and denotes lack. Focus on the qualities. Sit down and write. I now attract a man-woman who is honest, sincere, loyal, prosperous, and spiritual. They love what I love. There is perfect harmony between us. She gives me love, and I give them love. There is mutual respect and freedom. Repeat these qualities like a mantra. Feel the reality of being with someone like that. By doing so, you are changing your broadcast frequency. You stop emitting victim seeks executioner and start emitting queen seeks king. When you change the signal, old toxic loves disappear and new healthy loves appear. It is law. What about that boss who yells at you? That annoying neighbor? That relative who criticizes you? Your instinct is to fight them or flee. But the master knows that they are messengers. They are buttons that the universe presses to show you what is in your subconscious. If someone insults you and you feel hurt, offended and small, the problem is not the insult. The problem is that you had an open wound of insecurity and they threw salt on it. If you didn't have the wound, the insult would be like background noise. It wouldn't affect you. As Buddha said, if someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? If someone offers you anger and you do not accept it, the anger stays with them. Difficult people are your toughest spiritual teachers. They are showing you where you lack self-love. They are showing you where you lack patience. Do not try to change them. Change your reaction. When you change, the dance changes. If you stop reacting to their provocations, you stop feeding their demon. Eventually, they either change their attitude toward you or they disappear from your life. We all know the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. But in metaphysics, we go deeper. Think of others as you want them to think of you. Thought is a real action. If you think poorly of your co-worker, if you gossip about them, you are manufacturing poison in your own mind. You are the only thinker in your universe. What you think about another, you are creating in your own experience. If you envy the success of another, you are decreeing, "Success is bad, keep it away from me." If you hate another, you are decreeing, "I want hate in my life." Resentment toward another is mental suicide. You drink the poison, expecting the other to die. To be free, rich, and healthy, you must wish well to everyone, even to those you dislike, not for holiness, for pure, intelligent selfishness. Wishing them well is attracting good to yourself. When you say, "I wish for that man to have peace, success, and happiness," those vibrations of peace, success, and happiness pass through you first before going out to him. You are the first beneficiary of your own blessing. Dr. Murphy treated many couples on the verge of divorce. The problem was always the same. One wanted to change the other. The wife who nags the husband to stop drinking. The husband who criticizes the wife to be more orderly. This is a violation of the mind. No one changes under pressure. Pressure generates resistance. If you try to change your partner by force, you are sending the message, "I do not accept you as you are." That kills love. The only way to transform a relationship is through silent prayer. Stop nagging. Stop arguing. Instead, visualize your partner being the ideal person. Visualize them sober, happy, and loving. Affirm in silence, "My partner is guided by divine intelligence. They are peace, love, and prosperity." Do it without telling them. Keep the image of their divinity in your mind. Your subconscious will project that image onto them, and mysteriously, you will begin to see changes. They will start acting differently because your vibrational expectation has changed. Treat them like a king, and they will behave like a king. We come to the critical point. You cannot have physical health or wealth if your heart is full of grudge. Dr. Murphy said that the main cause of ulcers, heart problems, and arthritis is accumulated resentment. Hate is inflammation. Hate is tension. Forgiving is not a moral option. It is a biological necessity. If you want to live, you have to forgive. Many people say, "But I cannot forgive. What they did to me was unforgivable." They are confusing forgiveness with condoning. Forgiving does not mean saying what you did was okay. Forgiving does not mean going back to the person who abused you. Forgiving does not mean there are no legal consequences for the criminal. Etymologically, to forgive means to give for, to let go. It means releasing the emotional burden. It means refusing to keep carrying the aggressor on your back every day of your life. If someone hurt you 10 years ago and you still think about it with rage today, you have been hurting yourself for 10 years. He only hurt you one day, you have repeated the wound thousands of times. Forgiveness is cutting the umbilical cord of pain. It is saying, "You no longer have power over me. You are free, and I am free." How do you forgive the unforgivable? It is not a feeling. Do not wait to feel like forgiving. It will never come. Forgiveness is a mental decision, like surgery. The technique: sit in silence, relax your body. Bring to your mind the person you hate the most or who hurt you the most. Visualize them in front of you, and say firmly, even if your stomach churns at first, "I forgive you completely. I release you, I let you go. Your karma is yours, my life is mine. From my inner Christ, I salute your inner Christ. I decree for you health, happiness, peace, and all the good of life. Every time I think of you, I will say, I have released you. Peace be with you." Murphy's trick: bless them. Wish for them to do well. This seems impossible for the ego. Do it. It is the trial by fire. If you can wish them well sincerely, you have broken the bond. Hate needs you to wish ill. If you wish well, hate dissolves, because it cannot coexist with blessing. Do this every day until, when thinking of that person, you no longer feel the sting of pain. When the wound no longer hurts when touched, you are healed. Sometimes the enemy is not another, it is you. Guilt is the most corrosive acid for the subconscious. If you feel guilty for past mistakes, you are decreeing, "I deserve punishment," and your subconscious will punish you. It will make you lose money, it will make you stumble, it will make you sick. All to atone for your guilt, you must understand that God does not punish. Infinite intelligence does not keep a record of sins. Life does not judge you. If you burn your hand, life gives you new cells. You are the only judge, jury, and executioner. Self-forgiveness is vital. You must say, "I did the best I could with the level of consciousness I had then. Now I know more. Now I do better. I forgive and absolve myself. I am innocent before life." Stop ruminating on the past. The past is dead. If God, life, lives in the eternal present, bringing up the guilty past is an offense to present life. Cleanse yourself. You are new every morning. If you feel lonely, or if you need clients for your business, the principle is the same. People are attracted by your radiation. If you are a salesperson and you think, "I'm going to trick this client to get money," the client will feel an unconscious rejection and won't buy. If you think, "I'm going to serve this client and bless them," the client will feel trust and will buy. To fill your life with friends or clients, use this prayer. I am a magnet for divinity. I attract wonderful, honest, and prosperous people into my life. I am a source of love and goodwill for all. People love to be with me because I love to be with them. I bless everyone who enters my orbit. My circle is filled with harmony. Thank you. Remember that we are all connected by a common subjective mind. When you heal from a grudge, you heal a part of the world. When you love, you raise the vibration of your city. Do not underestimate the power of your relationships. They are your spiritual school. Every time you choose peace instead of argument, you are performing magic. Every time you choose blessing instead of gossip, you are imprinting wealth on your subconscious. Happy and loving people are never poor for long. Their energy is too attractive. Embittered and conflictive people repel luck. Exercise the total liberation ritual. Let's do a deep cleaning of your mental contact list. You are going to lie down tonight and do a sweep. Go through the faces of the people you know. If a face appears and you feel a sting, anger, fear, guilt, stop. That face is a blockage in your abundance pipe. Apply the balm. I release you, God in you, God in me, peace. Do it until you can go through your entire mental gallery without pain, until you only feel neutrality or love. When you achieve this, you will have reached emotional immunity. No one will be able to offend you because you decide not to be offended. No one will be able to steal your peace because peace belongs to you. And in that state of invulnerability, you are free to create anything. Chapter 9. Overcoming Fear, the Mental Ghosts. Imagine you are a small child. You are in your bed in total darkness. Suddenly you see a monstrous figure in the corner of the room. It has long arms, sharp claws, and it is looking at you. You freeze. Your heart beats in your chest like a hammer. You break into a cold sweat. You cannot scream. The fear is real. The terror is absolute. You spend the entire night in agony, waiting for the attack, and then the sun comes up. The light enters through the window and illuminates the corner, and you see the truth. The monster was just a pile of clothes on a chair, with a coat hanging that looked like arms. There was no monster. There never was a monster. The monster only existed in your mind. But your suffering was real. This is the perfect metaphor for your adult life. Most of your fears, fear of poverty, of disease, of ridicule, of old age, are piles of clothes in the dark. They are shadows projected by your own ignorance. They are mental ghosts. They have no real power, except the power you give them by believing in them. Dr. Joseph Murphy said one of the most liberating phrases in history: "Fear is only a thought in your mind. You are afraid of your own thoughts. Nothing external can hurt you if you do not give it mental permission." Today we are going to turn on the light. Today we are going to walk toward the corner of the room and touch the monster to discover it is only empty cloth. Welcome to the death of fear. Let's start by defining what fear really is. People believe that fear is the opposite of faith. They are wrong. Fear is faith. Fear is inverted faith. Fear is having an unshakable faith that something bad is going to happen. It is a deep conviction that evil is more powerful than good. It is believing that circumstances, luck, or enemies are stronger than the infinite intelligence that inhabits you. When you worry, you are praying. Worry is a negative visualization. You are using your divine power of imagination to build disaster scenarios. What if I'm fired? What if I get sick? What if they leave me? Your subconscious, which is neutral and obedient, takes those images charged with emotion, terror, and says, "The captain is visualizing this with great intensity. It must be what he wants. Let it be done." Understanding this gives you control. If you can be scared to death, you can be successful to death. It is the same energy, just spinning in the opposite direction. Fear is not weakness. It is misdirected power. You have a Ferrari engine, your mind. Fear is putting it in reverse and flooring the accelerator. You crash. Positive faith is putting it in first gear and flooring it. You fly. The number one fear that paralyzes human dreams is the fear of failure. You have a brilliant idea. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want to write a book. But a voice whispers, "What if it goes wrong? Everyone will laugh. I will lose my money. I will look like a fool." And you do nothing. You stay in your comfort zone, which is actually a slow death zone. Joseph Murphy taught us to redefine failure. Failure does not exist. Only learning exists. Thomas Edison did not fail 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. He discovered 10,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. Failure is a step, not a grave. But let's go deeper. The fear of failure is, in reality, vanity. It is fear of your image being damaged. It is the ego protecting itself. If you realize that you are a channel of divinity and that the final result depends on the law, you lose the fear. The technique. When you feel afraid to fail, say, "Success is mine because the infinite intelligence cannot fail. If one path closes, it is because a better one opens. I do not fail. I learn, correct, and move forward. My success is inevitable." Visualize the end. Fear focuses on the process. Faith focuses on the end. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great transcendentalist philosopher, gave us the ultimate recipe, and Murphy prescribed it to all his patients. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. There is no other way. You cannot beat fear by thinking. You have to beat it by acting. Fear is a ghost that lives on the shore. If you jump into the water, the ghost disappears. If you are afraid of public speaking, don't stay at home visualizing that you aren't afraid. Go out and speak. The first time you will tremble. The second time, less. The 10th time, you will enjoy it. Why does this work? Because the subconscious learns through experience. Fear is an alert for unknown danger. When you go through the fear and survive, your subconscious rewrites the code. Ah, we did it and we didn't die. Then it's not dangerous. Turn off alarm. Action cures fear, indecision feeds it. The brave person is not the one who has no fear. It is the one who acts with fear until the fear forgets about itself. Let's talk about the fear that keeps people enslaved, the fear of lack. It is that knot in the stomach when the bills arrive. It is the panic of losing your job. This fear is the most destructive because it is a direct order of poverty to the engine room. I am afraid of not having money. Keep money away. How is it overcome? By substituting fear with trust in the source. Remember chapter 4. Your job is not your source. The government is not your source. God, your deep mind, is your source. If you fear poverty, it is because you have put your faith in things instead of the creator of things. Things can be lost. The creator is eternal. When you feel that financial fear, do the following mental exercise. Imagine you are the child of a multi-billionaire king. Your father owns the universe. Would you be afraid of an electricity bill? No. You would smile. You would say, "My father has cattle on 1,000 hills. This is pocket change for him." Adopt that attitude. The fear of poverty dissolves when you realize your true lineage. You are rich by birthright. Poverty is just a temporary nightmare you are waking up from. This is a favorite topic of Joseph Murphy. We live in a society that worships youth and terrifies the old. People are panicked about getting older. They lie about their age. They believe that old age is decay, loss, illness, and loneliness. And because they believe that, that is what they experience. The thing which I greatly feared is come upon me. Job 3:25. Murphy said, "Old age is not the flight of years, it is the dawn of wisdom. Your grey hairs are your medals. Your wrinkles are the map of your experiences. The mind does not age. The spirit has no age. Is kindness old? Is love old? Is joy old? No. They are eternal. If you fill your mind with kindness, love, and joy, you are eternal. The fear of aging is the fear of losing utility, but you are useful as long as you think. Many of humanity's great achievements were made by people over 70 or 80. Never say I am old. Say I am wise. Never say I am going to retire. To retire is to die. Say I am going to change activities. If you tell your subconscious, I'm old, I'm done, it will prepare your death quickly. Tell it, I have much to do, and it will give you youthful energy. The hypochondriac lives in hell. He reads about a disease and feels the symptoms. He fears death so much that he forgets to live. The fear of illness creates illness, nocebo effect. Constant anxiety depresses the immune system and opens the door to viruses. The only cure is to understand that your body is a shadow of your mind. If you keep your mind illuminated, the shadow cannot harbor darkness. And about death. Murphy taught that death is not an end, but a transition. It is like crossing a door to another room. Your consciousness is energy, and energy is neither created nor destroyed. You are eternal. You have lived before. You will live after. This body is just a spacesuit you use to operate on planet Earth. When the suit wears out, you take it off and go home. Why be afraid of going home? Dr. Murphy gave us a first aid technique for panic attacks or acute fear. When the terrifying thought enters your mind, do not fight it. Do not argue with the ghost. Apply the law of substitution. Imagine that fear is a glass of dirty water. Do not try to take the dirty water out with a spoon. Take a pitcher of clean water, thoughts of God good, and pour it into the glass. Keep pouring. The clean water will displace the dirty water. When the thought comes, you are going to go bankrupt, immediately say, lie, God is my shepherd. Kill the negative thought with a positive one. Do it instantly. Do not give the fear time to take root. If you do it 50 times a day, by the end of the day you will have reprogrammed your mind. Remember chapter 1. You are the guardian at the gate. Fear often is an external suggestion. A friend tells you, things are very bad. The news says, new pandemic. These are invitations to have fear. You have the power to say, I do not accept that. Say mentally, you can be afraid if you want, but I won't. I live under the protection of the Most High. It does not touch me. Create your own mental immunity. Deny the reality of evil. Evil is not a power. It is the absence of good. It is like darkness. It is not a thing. It is a lack of light. Do not fight the darkness. Turn on the light. Do not fight fear. Turn on faith. Here is a powerful visualization to dissolve specific fears. public speaking, exams, interviews. Visualize your fear as a block of ice, hard, cold, paralyzing. Now, visualize your desire, your success, as a radiant sun right above the ice. Feel the heat of your desire. Watch the ice melt. It turns into water. The water flows. It is no longer an obstacle. Now it is a river that carries you. Say, "My fear dissolves in the ocean of divine love. I am free." Do this before sleeping, and you will wake up with courage. Sometimes overcoming fear involves walking alone. The group, the mass, lives in fear. The herd moves by panic. If you decide not to have fear, they will see you as crazy or irresponsible. How can you be calm with what is happening? They will tell you. Your answer must be silence and a smile. Do not try to convince them. Their fear is their religion. You follow your path. The solitude of the brave is temporary. Soon your courage will attract other lions. Leave the sheep with their shepherds of fear. Walk with your inner power. Exercise the decree of courage. To close this chapter, I want you to adopt this decree. It is your sword and your shield. Repeat with authority, "God is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I am not afraid of bad news. My heart is firm, trusting in the Lord. Fear is a shadow. Faith is the light. I turn on the light now. I am brave, I am capable, I am victorious. The infinite intelligence guides me in every step. There is nothing to fear in the past, present, or future. I am free. Thank you, Father." Chapter 10, The Mystical Union. There is a state beyond technique. There is a place where you no longer have to ask to receive, because you realize that you and the giver are one. You cannot ask for what you already are. You cannot seek what you have never lost. This is the final secret that Dr. Joseph Murphy and all the great masters in history kept for the end of the road. It is not about manipulating your mind to obtain things. It is about remembering who you are. When you remember who you are, things, money, health, love, follow you as chicks follow their mother. You don't have to call them. They go where you go. Welcome to the mystical union. Welcome to the discovery of the God within. Today we stop being beggars knocking on the doors of heaven. Today we open the door from the inside and sit on the throne. Let's decode the most powerful name in the universe. In the Bible, when Moses asks the burning bush, "Who are you? What do I tell the people?" The voice responds, "I am that I am. Tell them that I am has sent me." This is not ancient theology. It is pure psychology. I am is not the name of a man with a beard on a cloud. I am is the definition of your own consciousness of being. It is the only thing you can say with absolute certainty. Before having a name, before having a body, before having a profession, you know that you are. That feeling of pure existence without labels is God in you. Joseph Murphy taught us the mathematical law of identity. Everything you add after I am, you become. If you say, "I am poor," you are taking the name of God, the creative power, and using it to create poverty. You are blaspheming against your own divinity. If you say, "I am sick," you are ordering infinite life to contract in the form of disease. The mystical union consists of watching your I am like a hawk. The master never says, "I am tired, I am broke, I am depressed." The master says, "I feel tiredness, something passing, but I am strength." Separate your eternal identity from your temporary conditions. When you understand that your I am is a fragment of the universal mind, you understand that you have no limits. Your I am has no debts. Your I am has no cancer. Your I am has no age. Those are things that happen to your little self, ego, but not to your real self. When you identify with the real self, the little self heals automatically. Here is the mental trap that causes all your suffering, the belief in two powers. You believe that God, good, exists, and that the devil, evil, exists. You believe that luck and bad luck exist. You believe that viruses and vitamins exist. You live in a battlefield, always fighting against evil. Higher metaphysics teaches a radical truth. There is only one power. There are not two. The electricity that lights the lamp and the electricity that kills you if you stick your finger in the socket. Are they two different electricities? One good and one bad? No, it is a single force. The difference is in how you use it. There is no devil that wants to destroy you. What you call evil is simply the one universal power used ignorantly by your own negative mind. If you use the law of the mind to create fear, you create monsters. Those monsters are real to you, but their energy comes from God, your mind. You give them life. When you reach the mystical union, you stop fighting against the world. How can you fight if you know that everything is God in disguise? If you have a disease, it is not an attack from the demon. It is life responding to your fear. If you have an enemy, it is not a villain, it is your own projected subconscious. By understanding that there is only one, fear disappears. There is no longer anyone out there who can hurt you. There is no competition. There is no scarcity. There are no enemies. There is only you and your mind. If you correct your mind, the entire universe aligns. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding. How does a person who has reached this union live? They do not spend 24 hours on their knees. They live in the world, have businesses, have a family, enjoy life. But they live with a double attention. With one eye, they attend to the matters of the world, pay bills, drive, speak. With the other eye, the internal eye, they never lose sight of the presence. It is like walking hand in hand with an invisible king. While you talk to your boss, a part of you is feeling, infinite intelligence is here, guiding this conversation. While you walk down the street, a part of you feels, it is God who moves my legs. This is called practicing the presence of God. It is not a religious act. It is a mental habit of recognizing the source behind all forms. When you see a flower, you do not see only biology. You see the smile of infinite intelligence. When you receive money, you do not see paper. You see the circulation of divine love. Living like this transforms the ordinary into the sacred, and most practically, it makes you invulnerable to stress. How can you be stressed if you know that the power that creates galaxies is walking with you? If a problem arises, the mystic smiles and says, "Our Father, this is for you. Resolve it," and relaxes. When the conscious mind, the noise, calms down and unites with the subconscious, the wisdom, a new faculty is born, intuition. Intuition is the direct mail of the mystical union. You no longer have to reason laboriously. Do I do A or do I do B? What do the statistics say? You simply know. It is a soft but firm certainty, a still small voice that says, go this way, call this person, don't sign that contract. The disconnected man ignores this voice. He calls it imagination and follows his limited logic, often crashing. The connected man obeys the voice instantly. He knows that his subconscious has an eagle's eye view, while his conscious has a mole's eye view. To develop this union, you must cultivate silence. God does not speak in the noise. Spend 10 minutes a day not asking for anything. Just sit. Close your eyes and say, "Speak, for your servant is listening." And wait. At first, you will only hear your own chaotic thoughts. Let them pass. Beneath the noise, there is an underground river of silence. Dive in there. In that silence, you will find the ideas that will make you a millionaire. In that silence, you will find the cure for your body. This phrase has terrified people. Thy will be done. They believe it means thy will be done even if it means I suffer, or my child dies, or I am poor. I resign myself. What a tragic mistake. The will of God, the will of life, is always more life. The will of life is growth, expansion, beauty, wealth, and health. It is never God's will for you to suffer, just as it is never the will of the sun to darken. If you suffer, it is because you have stood in the way of divine will with your negative thoughts. Saying, "Thy will be done," means, I stop blocking my good with my fears, and I allow the river of perfection to flow. It is an act of supreme trust. It is saying, my little ego thinks it knows what I need, but you, infinite wisdom, know what is best and how to give it to me. I step out of the way. You lead. When you surrender in this way, the struggle ends. Reversed effort disappears. You stop rowing against the current and let yourself be carried by the current of grace that always goes toward the ocean of success. Surrender is not weakness. It is maximum intelligence. It is allying yourself with the supreme power. In the mystical union, time disappears. The subconscious does not know yesterday or tomorrow. It only knows the eternal now. Everything you have suffered in the past no longer exists, except as a dead memory in your brain. Everything you fear about the future does not exist. It is a fantasy. Only this breath exists. The union happens now. You cannot be happy tomorrow. You can only be happy now. You cannot be rich in the future. You have to feel the wealth now. Murphy said, "The future is simply the present ripened. If you want a good future, make your present good." If you are in the now, you are with God. If you are in the past or the future, you are with the ego, fear, guilt. Heal your timeline. Say, "The past no longer has power over me. I declare it null and void. Today I am born again." Every morning is a new incarnation. Every morning you have the opportunity to choose who you want to be, without dragging the chains of yesterday. In the now, you are innocent. In the now, you are free. Let's look back for a moment to see the complete map you have traveled in this audiobook. They are not separate chapters. It is an ascension ladder. 1. You woke up the captain and discovered the crew, subconscious. 2. You understood that belief is the only law. 3. You learned to stop struggling, reversed effort. 4. You claimed your right to wealth and cleared the guilt. 5. You discovered your body is the shadow of your mind and learned to heal it. 6. You learned to use the night to work while you sleep. 7. You mastered the formula of scientific prayer. 8. You healed your relationships through the mirror of the other. 9. You killed the ghost of fear. 10. And now you rest in the mystical union. You are no longer a lost fragment in a hostile universe. You are a center of divine operations. You are the point where God becomes conscious of himself and creates worlds. Your life is no longer a series of accidents. It is a deliberate work of art. The 30-day challenge, the mental diet. Intellectual knowledge changes nothing. Practice changes everything. To close this book, I don't want you to just say, "How nice." I want you to transform your life radically. I propose Joseph Murphy's 30-day challenge. For the next 30 days, you are going to go on a mental diet. Not of food, but of negativity. The rules: 0 complaints. You cannot complain about anything or anyone. If a complaint arises, bite your tongue and transform it into an immediate blessing. 0 gossip. You will not speak ill of anyone. News diet. Turn off tragic news. Do not consume fear. Daily prayer. Every morning and every night you will use one of the scientific prayers you learned. Instant forgiveness. If you get angry, forgive on the spot. Do not go to sleep angry. If you fail one day, do not punish yourself. Start over, but try to keep the streak. If you manage to do this for 30 days, your brain will physically change. Your neurons will rewire. Your old personality will die, and a new one, magnetic and radiant, will be born. You will see miracles, I promise you. It is law. Now relax. I'm going to pronounce a final blessing over you. They are not just pretty words, they are vehicles of power. Open your heart and receive this as a mantle of light covering you. May divine love surround you, envelop you, and protect you. May infinite wisdom guide every one of your steps, opening paths where there were no paths. May the wealth of God flood your house, your pocket, and your heart, so that you never lack anything and can give with full hands. May your body shine with the perfect health of the spirit, vibrant and young. May peace, that deep peace that does not depend on what happens outside, fill your soul now and forever. Remember who you are. You are a child of the infinite. You are heir to the universe. Nothing is impossible for you. Rise and shine. Go and create a wonderful world. It is done. So it is. Amen. Final conclusion, the new life. You have reached the end of this audiobook, but you have reached the beginning of your true life. During these hours, we have walked together through the hallways of your mind. We have turned on the lights in the dark rooms of fear. We have cleaned the dust of guilt and poverty. And I have handed you the master keys that open all doors, the key of belief, the key of relaxation, and the key of scientific prayer. Now, the book closes, the voice fades out, and you are left alone with yourself. This is the decisive moment. Most people hear the truth, feel inspired for a moment, and then fall back asleep in the comfort of their old habits. They go back to complaining about the weather. They go back to hating their job. They go back to fearing the future. If you do that, this knowledge will become a blurry memory, like a beautiful dream you woke up from. Do not let that happen. You are different. You have heard the call. You can no longer plead ignorance. Now you know that you are the captain. Now you know that the crew is waiting for orders. If your life remains the same in a year, it will be because you chose not to give new orders. To ensure that the change is permanent, I leave you with one last task. It is not a suggestion. It is a mandate of power. The 30-day challenge. I challenge you to test your inner God. During the next 30 days, commit to a strict mental diet. In the same way you would avoid eating poison, you are going to avoid thinking poison. Every morning upon waking, declare your intention. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Success is mine. Every night before sleeping, use the lullaby technique to saturate your subconscious with the idea of wealth and health. During the day, if a negative thought arises, kill it instantly with the law of substitution. Do not let it live for even 5 seconds in your mind. Do this for 30 days. If you do, I guarantee you will not recognize yourself at the end of the month. Your health will shine. Your bank account will grow. Your relationships will flourish. The law does not fail. You cannot fail. Final blessing. And now go in peace. Carry with you the certainty that you never walk alone. The infinite intelligence envelops you, sustains you, and guides you. You are rich with the wealth of the universe. You are strong with the strength of the universe. You are loved with the love of the universe. Arise, shine, and claim your heritage. So it is done. Amen. The imperative call to action. Listen to me carefully. The audiobook has ended, but your work has just begun. You have 2 options right now. Option A is to close this video, return to your routine, let the noise of the world drown out this truth, and, in a week, have forgotten everything. You will be the sleeping captain again. Option B is to take command. It is to decide that today is day 1 of your new life. If you choose option B, you cannot do it alone. The world is designed to put you to sleep. You need an environment that keeps you awake. You need constant reminders. You need to go deeper. What I have given you here is the map, but there are deeper secrets about how to apply this in specific situations of crisis, business, and love. At Path of Knowledge, we don't just create content, we create masters. If you feel the call to go beyond the theory, if you want the advanced tools, the guided meditations, and the knowledge that cannot be spoken in the open, your next step is imperative. Subscribe to the channel. It is your public commitment to your growth. Activate the bell so that truth finds you before distraction does. Click the link in the description. Join our private mailing list, community. That is where the teaching continues. That is where we share the solid food for those who have already left the spiritual milk. Do not stay at the door, enter the temple. Your life is too valuable to live it halfway. You have the power, use it.